We are living through one of the most profound transformations in the history of work. Artificial intelligence isn't some far-off concept anymore. It's here, and it is actively reshaping pretty much every job, every industry, and even how we define productivity itself. So what does this all mean for us? Let's dive in and find out.
To really wrap our heads around the scale of this change, let's just start with a number. $4.5 trillion. According to some deep research from Cognizant, that's the potential annual productivity boost that AI could pump into the U.S. economy before this decade is even over. I mean, this isn't just an upgrade, it is a seismic economic shift.
And that's exactly why you hear experts calling this a cognitive industrial revolution. Think about it. Unlike past revolutions that automated muscle power, this one is augmenting and automating cognitive tasks. The very heart of modern knowledge work. So we're talking about a fundamental change in how we think, how we create, and how we generate value.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this all down. We'll start by looking at the sheer scale of this revolution. Then, the incredible tech leap from AI copilots to actual coworkers. We'll explore the productivity paradox that this creates, and the great skills reshuffle that's already happening. And finally, we'll try to get a picture of what our future with AI really looks like.
All right, let's kick things off with the scale of this transformation. The main thing to get here is just how widespread this is. This isn't a technology that's just going to touch a few specific sectors. Its impact is going to be felt almost everywhere. The breadth of AI's reach is honestly staggering. Research from Cognizant suggests that a massive 93% of jobs in the United States could be affected by AI. Now, it's really important to say this doesn't mean replacement, but it absolutely means change. It means augmentation and adaptation for pretty much all of us.
So what's driving all this change so fast? Well, it's a huge technological leap that's happening right now. We are moving well beyond AI as just a simple assistant to AI as an autonomous agent, and this is the real engine driving the revolution.
Okay, so let's really dig into that difference. Up until now, we've mostly dealt with AI as a co-pilot. We've been the pilot, right? We have to dictate every single step, write this email for me, summarize this report. But the new model is the AI agent, and here our role completely changes. We become the supervisor. We just define a high-level goal, and the agent acts like an autonomous coworker, planning and carrying out complex projects all on its own.
So what exactly is an AI agent? Well, IBM has a great definition. It's a program that can act autonomously. And the key words there are understand, plan, and execute. This is such a huge leap from just reacting to a command. It's all about taking initiative to get a goal done.
Let's walk through how that actually works in practice. An agent takes a really broad goal, like, say, optimize our company's entire supply chain, and it breaks it down. Then it creates a whole plan, executes all the tasks by connecting to different software, and this is the really amazing part. It self-corrects. It actually adapts its plan as it goes. I mean, we're talking about true end-to-end automation here.
Okay, so this incredible new capability, it creates a central tension, doesn't it? It's what we're calling the productivity paradox. Because on one hand, you have the promise of unprecedented economic growth, and on the other, you see a whole new set of anxieties about the future of work. So let's look at the incredible upside first. Goldman Sachs is projecting that AI is going to boost annual productivity growth well above what we've seen recently. And that's a massive deal for the economy, especially as the growth of the human workforce itself starts to slow down.
But, and this is a big but, there's a flip side to this productivity boom, especially for people who are just starting out in their careers. It's something JP Morgan calls the graduate's dilemma.
Think about this. Just this past March, the unemployment rate for recent college grads hit a 4-year high of 5.8%. So the big question is why? Why is that happening in what seems to be a growing economy? Well, it's because companies are using AI to make their senior staff way more productive, and that automates a lot of the routine entry-level tasks that used to be the training ground for new hires. And this creates a really tough experience gap for young people to overcome.
And you can see this split playing out across the whole job market. Projections from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show this explosive growth for roles that build and secure AI. Software developers, cybersecurity analysts. But then look at the other side. Roles where the tasks are easily automated, like legal assistants or insurance adjusters, well, they're facing stagnation or even decline. So we have this paradox, right? Soaring productivity on one hand, but a really tough entry-level market on the other. What's the way through all this? Well, that brings us to the most critical part of this whole story, the solution. We are living through what's being called a Great Skills Reshuffle, where adapting isn't just an option, it's an absolute necessity. And this isn't some slow, gradual shift, it's a skills earthquake. In those jobs that are most exposed to AI, the core skills you need to succeed are now changing 66% faster than in other fields. The ground is literally shifting under our feet, and the pace is only getting faster.
But here's the thing. With this challenge comes a massive opportunity. Just look at the wage premium for workers who have AI skills. According to PwC, it skyrocketed from 25% in 2023 to an incredible 56% just 1 year later. I mean, the market could not be sending a clearer signal. Adapting pays, and it pays really, really well.
So what are these critical skills we all need to be building? Well, they tend to fall into 4 key buckets. First up, you've got basic AI literacy, just knowing how to prompt and manage these tools. Second is critical thinking, being that essential human who can validate what the AI is putting out. Third are those uniquely human soft skills, like communication and empathy. And then finally, of course, you have the specialized technical skills for the people who are actually going to build these systems.
You know, a really fascinating way to think about all this is something called more of X paradox. It's this idea that what's really hard for us humans, like, say, crunching massive amounts of data, is easy for AI. But what's easy for us, things like fine motor skills or navigating an unpredictable physical space, is still incredibly difficult for machines. And that's why skilled trades like electricians and plumbers are proving to be some of the most resilient jobs in this age of AI. All right, so all of this brings us to our final big picture question. What does this all mean for our collective future? This is about more than just jobs and skills. It's really about redefining our role in a world where we are working side by side with intelligent machines. Which of course leads to the one question that is on everybody's mind. With all this change, with all this automation, are we being replaced?
Well, the overwhelming evidence from places like MIT and Brookings suggests the answer is a pretty clear no. This is not a story about replacement, it's a story about reinvention. The biggest impact of AI isn't even on the tasks we do, but on the very structure of our companies and the way that we innovate.
So what does this reinvented company look like? Well, the AI-powered firm of the future is different. For one, you see flatter hierarchies, because AI can handle the information flow that used to require layers of middle management. It empowers individual workers with much more autonomy. And most importantly, its growth is driven less by just being efficient and more by becoming a true engine for innovation, using AI to dream up entirely new products and services. So when you boil it all down, the takeaway is this. The future is not human versus machine. It is human with machine. Our value is shifting away from just doing the tasks and towards designing intelligent systems. We're moving from being cogs in the machine to becoming the architects of intelligence. So the real question for all of us isn't if we'll work with AI, but how we will choose to lead